Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to Mic Check. I'm glad you're here today. I want to start by telling you something about myself that I don't think I've ever talked about on this podcast before. I have a notebook, not a planner, not a to do list, a notebook where I write down quotes. And I don't mean I occasionally jot something down when I remember it. I mean, anytime, anywhere I hear something or read something or see something that stops me, I write it down immediately before the moment passes. It could be something someone said in a conversation, something I read in a book, something that comes up on my phone, something on the billboard driving down the street, something that flashes on a screen at the cinema. Yeah, anything. It does not matter where it comes from. If it stops me, it goes in the notebook. And here's the thing I realized recently. I have been doing this for as long as I can remember. I did not decide to start one day. I just always did it. Like something in me always knew that certain words deserved to be caught before they disappeared. I could almost publish a book with what is in that notebook. And what is in it? Not random things. Things that motivates me when I needed it most. Things that make me stop and reflect on my life. Things that ask me a question I was not ready for and then would not leave me alone until I sat with it properly. That notebook is basically a map of every moment. Something cracked me open a little. Now, I don't always have the notebook with me, so I grab whatever I can, my phone, a sticky note on my desk, the Notes app, whatever is closest before the moment disappears. A few weeks ago, I was sitting at the cinema. The movie had not started yet, and a tagline came up on the screen. 5 words. Find your place in the universe. I did what I always do. I stopped, I read it again, and then I read it one more time. But that day, I could not reach my phone in time, so I did the only thing I could do. I turned my friend sitting next to me and I said, "Can you please text me this sentence right now?" And my friend looked at me like, "I'm sorry, what?" And I said, "Just trust me. Text it to me before I forget it." And my friend did. Bless them. Because that sentence, 5 words from a cinema screen that my friend had to text me in the dark while the advertisements were still rolling, became this entire episode. Find your place in the universe. And as I sat there, I thought, don't we all think that way? Are we all just trying to find our place in the universe? And more importantly, why is that search causing us so much pain? That is what today's episode is about. Let's go. Let me ask you something directly. How many people do you know right now, including yourself, who are laying awake at night trying to figure out their purpose, their path, their place, asking themselves, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right job? Am I living the right life? Why does everyone else seem to have it figured out and I am still here trying to work it out? I'm going to guess a lot because half the world is on the search right now, maybe more than half. Everyone is stressed about finding their purpose like it is something they lost and need to locate before something bad happens. And here is what I want to say about that. We need to stop. Not stop searching. Stop stressing about the search. Stop treating your purpose like it is a destination you are already late for. Stop looking at where everyone else is and using it as an evidence that you're behind. Because here is the truth that nobody tells you. You cannot find your place in the universe by looking for it. Your place finds you in the moment you are most alive, most yourself, most free, when you stop performing and start living. Let me talk about comparison, because I think this is the real reason so many of us never feel like we have arrived. We are addicted to measuring ourselves against other people. She has her own business and she's younger than me. He figured out his purpose at 25. They seem so clear about who they are and what they're doing and why. And here I am, still figuring it out. Sounds familiar? Here's the problem with that. You're measuring your inside against everyone else's outside. You're comparing your whole real unfiltered journey, the doubt, the detour, the 3 a.m. questions against the version of someone else's life that they choose to show up. That is not a fair fight, and you're never going to win it. Teddy Roosevelt said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." And I would add, it is also the thief of clarity. Because every time you look sideways at someone else's path, you take your eyes off your own. And your own path is the only one that leads anywhere that matters for you. Your place in this universe is not where someone else is standing. It was never going to be. Now, let me talk about the box, because this is the one that really fires me up. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we take this big, wild, expansive, completely individual human life, full of contradictions and passion and unexpected love and things that makes no sense on paper, and try to squeeze it into a box? A title, a lane, a category, a 5-year plan, a neat answer to the questions, what do you do that explains everything about who you are in one sentence? I'm a brown woman who grew up eating Asian food and fell in love with a culture that was not mine, who started an event company, who went to Japan once and came home building a 5-cent retreat, who started a podcast in between all of it, who has a notebook and sticky notes and phone notes and friends who text her sentence in the dark cinema, full of quotes that crack her open. What box does that fit in? None. And that is exactly the point. The most alive, most purposeful, most fully themselves people I ever met do not fit in a box. They spill out of every category you try to put them in, because they stop trying to make themselves make sense to everyone else and start following the thread of what genuinely lights them up. That thread is your place in the universe, not a title, not a plan, a thread. And you follow it not by thinking about it, but by living it. Here's what I know about finding your place. It does not announce itself. It does not send you a calendar invite or arrive with a sign that says, "Congratulations, you have found your purpose. Please proceed." It shows up in small moments, the one you almost miss because you are too busy looking for the big one. It shows up when you are a kid eating food that has nothing to do with where you come from and you feel completely at home. It shows up when you are waist deep in Caribbean water collecting seashells and you cannot remember the last time you felt this free. It shows up when 5 words flash on the screen in a dark cinema and something in you wakes up so fast you have to grab the person next to you and say, "Please text me this right now." Those are not random moments. Those are your place in the universe, tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, right here, pay attention." The question is not, how do I find my place? The question is, am I paying attention to the moments when it finds me? So here's what I want you to do, and I mean this. I want you to actually do this. Stop asking, what is my purpose? Start asking, what makes me feel most alive? Stop looking at where other people are. Start paying attention to the moments where you forget to look anywhere else. Stop trying to find yourself in a box that was never made for you. Start following the thread, even when it makes no sense on paper, even when it does not have a neat title, even when the person across from you raises an eyebrow and says, "Why you? Why this? Why now?" And get yourself a notebook or a notes app or a stack of sticky notes or a friend who will text you sentences in the dark without asking too many questions. Because wisdom shows up everywhere and it does not wait for you to be ready. Your place in the universe is not something you find. It is something you live your way into. One meal, one trip, one coat, one cinema tagline at a time. And I want to say one more thing before we close. The search, the one that is stressing half the world right now, it is not the enemy. The search means you care. The search means you're not sleepwalking through your life. The search means you want something real. But the search was never meant to be a source of anxiety. It was meant to be an adventure. So treat it like one. Stop measuring how far you have to go. Start noticing how far you have already come. Start collecting the moments that felt right, even the small ones, especially the small ones. Because those moments are the map. And trust this, you're not behind, you are not lost, you're not doing it wrong. You're exactly where you need to be on your way to where you're going. Your place in the universe is already looking for you. All you have to do is stay alive to the moment when it finds you. Before I go today, I want to ask you something. Get your notebook or your notes app or grab a sticky note right now. Write this down. What is a moment, small or big, when you felt completely in your place? When everything just felt right? When you were so present, you forgot to look at where anyone else was. Sit with it, and if you want to share it, drop it in the comments, because that moment, that specific, personal, completely yours moment, that is not a coincidence. That is your place in the universe finding you. This is Mic Check. I will see you next time. Ciao for now.